In this video, I'm about to blow your mind, as I'm about to explain how one of the most profitable sub-niches in real estate works from cradle to grave. In fact, we broke down this entire business model into 8 core steps, which I'm going to share with you today. You see, land investing is slowly starting to gain in popularity, but most people that are coming into this business still don't understand the core mechanics of how this business actually works. Also, as a bonus, I'm going to share a random recent deal from our 2024 deal board. It's a deal we did a few weeks ago. And hopefully it'll show you what you can expect to make on a deal, turn times, everything that goes into doing a land flip. But you'll have to stick around to the very end to see that. All right, before we dive in, I need to explain something to you. You see, there's a lot of misconceptions on why sellers work with us. Why would someone sell a piece of land at a crazy discount? Well, the reasons that sellers sell to us is because we are liquidity providers. We offer a service. I like to think about it in terms of the garage sale analogy. Let's say I go to someone's garage sale and they have an old calculator from the 90s. And let's say back in the 90s, they paid $200 for the calculator. Now they know, hey, if I went and put it online, maybe I could get $100 total for the thing. But they don't want to go through the hassle of that. There's not that many buyers out there for it. They'd have to go and market it. They'd have to ship it out to someone. It's just a lot of work involved. So instead they say, I'm going to host a garage sale. And honestly, if I can go get $50 for this today, I'm okay. I know I'm leaving some money on the table, but I'd rather hit the easy button. I'd rather use a liquidity provider like us. Except for vacant land. You see, we're actually a real benefit to the sellers. We provide liquidity to a very illiquid asset. And the truth is, most realtors don't know how to sell raw land. In fact, most realtors, if they have a land listing and a house listing, would rather sell the house. They're gonna make more as a commission. It's easier to sell. There's more buyers for it. It's easy to get to the property. Where land, a lot of times realtors don't know what it's worth, don't know how to market it, don't even know how to get to the piece of land themselves, let alone show it to a buyer. And so that means that sellers are stuck between a rock and a hard place. The realtors do a so-so job and they take a lot of money. Maybe they could maximize value and sell it themselves, but they don't want to do that. So someone like us walks along and gives them 40 to 60 cents on the dollar. They say, thank you. So just a general primer. So many people get this completely backwards. And why would sellers sell to us at a discount? Well, now you know. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, let's dive into the 8 core principles of running a successful land investing business. The first principle, the first part of this business is what we call market selection. You see, there's a lot of counties out there, over 3,000 of them, a lot of different options. Truth is, most of them aren't very good. I always tell people it's easy to acquire land. It's actually hard to dispose of land. And that's why inside of Leah, our whole program is based around the premise of using data to find the highest demand markets. So we look for markets that have the kind of land that we want to buy, typically rural recreational land. We look for markets that have high demand and lowish supply. Most of the markets we work in have 25 to 200 properties actively listed. And we typically look for somewhere over a 10% sell-through rate every 30 days. You see, the truth is, in this business, marketing costs the same amount, no matter what channel you're using. Data costs the same amount. No matter what market we work in, those costs are gonna remain constant. So what dictates our results are the markets that we work in. How quickly we can sell our land, what kind of deals we got to go after, how much competition there is. And that's why market selection is the backbone of running a successful land business. So if you're just getting into this business, get really stinking good at selecting the right markets. In fact, we built a program called landinsights.co that goes and scrubs the entire US and looks at every county and every zip code to find the highest demand markets. This is a task that we used to do manually, but now we let a few lines of code do all that work for us. All right, number 2 is what we call data aggregation. We've identified a market we want to work in. 2 thumbs up. But now we got to go get the ownership data for the people that actually own land in that county. And just FYI, when we talk markets, we're typically talking about counties. So we're going to use a provider like DataTree or PropStream or LandVision, fill in the blank. And we're going to go say, hey, I want to go to Custer County, Colorado. I want to buy the 5 to the 40 acres. So I want any owner that owns 5 to 40 acres in that county. And we'll go and export that data. So we'll pay for that data. And now we've got the ownership data. It's got both the property's information and the owner's information, including their mailing address. And that's the backbone of land investing. We use all new land investors, in my humble opinion, should start with direct mail. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go take that ownership data and we're going to go create offers for it. So the way that looks like, let's say we're looking at the 5 to 40 acres in Custer County. We'll say, hey, we found that everything's trading for about $5,000 an acre out here. That's the retail market value. So what we're gonna do now is go and craft a discounted offer off of that retail value. So we might say, cool, I'm gonna offer 50%, so I'm gonna create offers at $2,500 an acre. We'll put that into our CSV file and we'll have our mail house, our printing company, actually merge our offers with our offer letter. You see, most people in this business are gonna use what's called a blind offer. It's a 2-page letter. One is a cover letter that says, hi, my name's Sumner, I wanna buy your land. The second one is a purchase agreement, all ready to go with that pre-populated offer that we created in the very beginning after we aggregated our data. So yes, we are shooting blind, we are making broad generalizations, but that's the beautiful thing about this strategy. You go amass data, you quantify retail values, and then you slap an offer on it and send it to thousands of people at once. And then they get this and they say, I want to hit the easy button, yes please, and we take all of the work out of it for the seller. That's why I think blind offers are such an important strategy, because it really provides a service to the seller, right? It's a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush type situation. And a lot of sellers want to hit that easy button. Okay, so that leads us to the fourth principle, which is mailing to sellers. Now I talked about that slightly before, but really if you're new to land, start with direct mail. It's got the highest form of trust built into it. People trust direct mail a lot more than a cold call. And it allows us to cast a really wide net and let the motivated leads come back to us. You see, inside Leah, our members typically average one deal per 2,500 to 3,000 letters. And every deal on average makes them somewhere between $25,000 and $35,000 per deal. And so really the premise of this business is just arbitraging what it costs to market versus what we make per deal. And the KPIs that we have with direct mail are so consistent. You don't have to be the best person on the phone. You don't have to be the smoothest talker or the best negotiator. You just need to get really good at market selection, data aggregation, and pricing, and then let the money flow to you. All right, core principle number 5 is creating an acquisition process. So these are real numbers, right? I'll go send out 10,000 blind offers, okay, to 10,000 owners. On average, I'll expect about a quarter to 0.5% response rate. So 25 to 50 people will reach back out to me. Now, those are not all qualified leads. Out of that, maybe only half are really qualified. Qualified in the sense that they have a property that we like, are actually motivated to sell, and we agree roughly on the price. So the acquisition process states, okay, if we get that many inbound leads, how can we most efficiently convert the highest number of those people to deals? And that usually looks like having a really airtight follow-up process for when new leads come in. Speed to lead is very important here. How quickly does it take for us to get to someone? Our due diligence process is going to be really, really important. How we follow up with sellers, on and on and on again. You need a process for that. You need a playbook. That's why there's so much opportunity in land, is that most people aren't doing that. They let the leads come to them and they take what I call the lowest hanging fruit. The ones that say yes immediately, they take those deals. But what about the maybes or the no's? Do you have a process to work them? And that's really how we've been successful in this land business, is by having a best-in-class acquisition process to get the maximum amount of value from our marketing. In fact, we often get deals from leads that reached out to us 2 years ago, yet we kept on showing up and we kept on working them. That's the power of a good acquisition process. And at the end of the day, what that correlates to is a higher ROAS, return on ad spend. And that's really the backbone of this business. How much money do I put in marketing and how much money do I get on the back end? For Leah members, we typically see about a 10 to 15x return for every dollar that goes into marketing. All right, core value number 6 is due diligence. So on the front end, we aggregated data, we made assumptions on values, we made assumptions on what we wanted to offer, but there's still more that goes into it. So when a lead comes to us, do we have a process to run due diligence on that property? To make sure, A, it's a property we want to buy, but also to make sure that our underwriting in terms of what it's worth and what we're offering is correct. The truth is, we actually have to renegotiate a lot of our offers. What I like to talk about is that price in the letter is just a pre-qualification filter. That just means that the leads are coming to us have been pre-qualified through price, so we don't have to waste our time with tire kickers. But in a lot of cases, you're still gonna have to put together a fully fleshed out offer, because there's things we can't account for, like legal access, physical access, floodplains, wetlands, topography, I mean, on and on and on again. We don't account for that in our initial data aggregation and pricing. In that process, we're moving off of generalizations and using the median to tell us where we should price at and what we should offer. All right, number 7 is the closing process. So great news, you've got a seller to agree to your offer. You're looking to double your money in this situation, buy for 25, sell for 50, let's say, which that's actually the standard in this business, about 100% return per deal that we do. Pretty crazy. So now we're gonna take that purchase agreement, we're gonna go send it off to a title company, we're gonna get a title insurance policy, and we're gonna use escrow. That way our money is safe on the acquisition side. I do not recommend self-closing deals. And that's coming from a guy that self-closed hundreds of deals without title companies. I do not recommend it. The truth is, some of these properties have chains of title that go back over a century. There's a big risk for having clouds on the title or issues with the property. You want a title insurance policy to mitigate that risk. Also, it's a great way to delegate that work. You typically pay $1,000 to $2,000 for that whole process. Not only do you get title insurance and escrow, they also do all the work for you. So they're almost like a little contractor or part-time employee in your business. 2 thumbs up. Now, you might be saying, Sumner, in that example, buy for 25, buy for 50. That sounds great, but how on earth am I going to afford that? Well, don't worry, my friend. This is why inside of Leah, we offer joint venture deal funding for all of our members, so they can just focus on putting their capital towards marketing, to operations, and we fund the deals for them. But it doesn't matter if you're inside Leah. In fact, there's a lot of people out there that want to fund your deals. You see, in this world, there's more money than there is opportunity. And so if you can be an opportunity creator and bring that to people who have money, Just connect the dots. Also, in the last few years, there's been a big rise of funders coming into the land space. They're seeing the returns that people are getting, and they're coming in and funding deals. Now, you might give up 20, 30, 40% equity in the deal, but they're gonna cover all closing costs and they're gonna cover the purchase price. So that means you can come into this land business with $10,000 or less and still build a successful land business. And that's one of the biggest things I gotta relay to you. Go after big deals right out of the gate. Don't play it small. In fact, we just had a Leah member, Adam, who shared one of his second or third deals in his business. That's a buy for $200,000, sell for $390,000 if he flips it, or if he subdivides, it's probably worth about $500,000 to $600,000. This guy's been in the land business for less than 3 months. Go big out of the gate. All right, number 8, last but not least, is dispositions marketing. So it's one thing to buy the property, but we don't get paid till we sell it. So how do we do that? Well, we have a whole entire playbook for this. How we list the properties, how we market the properties, how we photograph the properties, how we price the properties, and where we list the properties. Now, I'm not gonna cover that all in this video, but suffice to say, if you've done a good job selecting markets with high demand and low supply, the disposition process should be pretty straightforward. In fact, most people inside Leah sell their deals in under 60 days. But if you haven't focused on market selection, your deal could take 4 months, 6 months, 12 months to sell. And that's why the disposition process really starts in the very beginning with finding the right market. Because the truth is, there's not really much we can do other than the basics to sell our property faster. It sucks having your hands tied working in a slow market. So to avoid that, be very, very mindful with where you work. The essential premise in this business, though, is that most realtors don't know how to market land. So we can sell our properties faster by correct marketing, both written descriptions and visuals. Also, most realtors don't know how to price land. So we're gonna price better than anyone else. And we're always gonna pass off a discount to the next buyer. Depending on the market, we might be listing at 85 to 95% of what a property is worth, but we're always leaving a little bit of equity for the next person. We have great customer service. If we're doing our own dispositions, or if you're using realtors, you find the best in class realtors that knock it out of the park. Because the truth is, most people that are gonna buy land from you are first time retail land buyers. They need their hand to be held. They need the basics explained to them. They need to feel confident that you're a real person in a real business that's not gonna scam them. They might need someone to actually walk and show the property with them. That's why as a new investor, I recommend going and finding the best land realtors in the market that you're working in and partner up with them for the dispositions. Now, eventually, as you scale, you can bring that process internally, but in the beginning, it's actually wise to allocate all of your time and resources to acquisitions and delegate that disposition process to a great realtor. Now, I poo-poo a lot of realtors out there because frankly, there's not very many good ones. It is truly finding a needle in a haystack to find a great land realtor out there, but in most markets, they do exist. Now, like I talked about in the beginning with realtors not being good at listing land, that's typically true, and that's why we still do our own marketing. We come up with the visuals, we edit our visuals, we come up with the written descriptions. All we really have them there for is to provide a sense of legitimacy to the buyers, to show the property in person, and to take some of the initial inbound calls from buyers and just do those initial conversations. That's pretty much it. And that's the land flipping business in a nutshell. A to Z, cradle to grave. Now, if you'd like to take it one step further, I'm gonna extend the olive branch to you. I'm gonna invite you to schedule a free 6-figure land investing strategy session with my team and I. And spots are limited. So I don't know when you're watching this. This may or may not be available anymore, but you can go to the description down below and take a look. Or if you'd like to go to this link here, head on over to landinvestor.co/apply. Again, that's in the description. And at the end of this call, you can say, hey, Sumner, thanks for the playbook. I'm gonna take it and run with it. Or you might be saying, Sumner, thank you for the playbook. I want to work in lockstep with you to build this land business. And that's why we've had hundreds of people in the last year alone join Leah and build 6 and even 7-figure land businesses with us. A lot of these people are brand new to land. No real estate experience, no land experience. Some of them even have no business experience. Yet with the playbook that we provide, it takes all of the guesswork out of it, and we provide hands-on coaching to get you to your goal. All right, guys, that's all I got. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Remember, go buy land, live a good life. Cheers.